Hi. Greetings of this rainy day from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. I'm Theodore Cottingham with the School of the Woman Christ, where you begin to learn to encumber yourself no more with flesh, no more with the thoughts of mankind, women or men who want to put you in your place, keep you silent, do the work of an angel, not but a worker for them. The School of the Woman Christ is like no other. It's birthed of God for God to bring about the resurrection in you, you creating it. Your consciousness coming alive, resurrecting from the born again knot. Or have you ever been born again, or just maybe thinking you are because you embraced a concept of a mental deity? A school like no other coming forth throughout the nations for you to love you and embrace you and no longer be a concubine to religion or its vehicle or vessel. This is about the resurrection. This is about Christ. This is about Jesus, the pattern, you becoming Christ in your shoes. Women, men, because you begin to learn that you are creating when you think. Are you creating when you think? Or are you engaging with something when you think about something? Or are all your thoughts just not fleeting again, flittering in and out like subatomic particles of neurons, flesh? We haven't understood. We've been robbed of our identity. And we thought we were flesh made by God, humanity made by a super source. And we've deemed ourselves as dumb. And we've dumbed each other down. Pull each other's wings off when we can fly. Do you know we can fly? Do you know there's a resurrection to be had, to be experienced? There's a covenant for you to create. A covenant. With a covenant, there's no quid pro quo, but you accept it. A gift, a covenant. Of promise. You become me and I'll become you. Is that what God said? Or is there no God before you anymore that takes your place of you in your mirror? Or are you beginning to see with new eyes the resurrection of faith, but a future filled with joy, a future filled with promise? Are you willing to bear the promise? You see, the new covenant is your future. If you will create it. Are you willing to create you as the creator of you, to experience the resurrection of you, the real you, in your mirror? No longer being subject to the vehemence of man, no longer being vehement about a secular God or that sacred is separate, or what are you thinking this day in your mirror? You know, I've done this a few times online, live, only a few times. But I'm inviting you to what's commonly called in a lot of circles, a lot of religious circles, take communion with me. In a few minutes, where you take the bread and wine, whether it's in a chalice of gold, silver, whether it's wine, whether it's an ornate vessel to hold the liquid, be it water, Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, wine, bourbon, margarita, piece of bread, a cookie, a wafer, a cinnamon roll. It's not about the elements. It's not about the molecular elements. There's no transubstantiation. These are symbols for you to hear and see the intangible and become acquainted with the unknowable. For you to give it your life. What are you exchanging your life for this day? The promises of other people? The promise of getting that manager position, a 5% raise? What are you giving your life for? Being able to pay the light bill? I understand the pain of being in flesh limited to it. I understand the pain of the affliction of religion and that which says, I have no power but to serve something they formulate, that they control even who preaches and teaches about it, and tell me what to do, how to do it, how to dress, what to think. No, my friend. We're growing up. We're going out. And the resurrection is now. For the woman Christ, you see, the woman Christ must come forth. Where Christ is not a male anymore of history. It's not an exclusive of some religion that said it was some Jew, some white man. Or what's your picture of Christ this day? Or do you know anything about Christ? Or did you read that little verse somewhere in the Bible? Your Bible, maybe? Up to this point, we've known Christ in the flesh, but henceforth now we know him no more. Begin to know Christ not as the flesh that you have studied or that you have envisioned, or that you have a little picture on the wall or an icon of a cross or something. He did, he, male, male, male. Let patriarchy no more define your world, women. It's hard, it's not easy. To birth? This is the new birth, and the new birth births something tangible in the spirit first. In the spirit of your consciousness. Or is your consciousness, your spirit, your mind, your soul. You see, we get into all these nuances that are not trivial. These are non-trivial. They're significant. I'm not after saving a soul. If anything, I suggest eradicating the influence of your soul. The soul, the energy of your chakras, your libido, your desire to reproduce and replicate humans on the earth for more suffering, to be religionized, demonized, angelized. Where are the angels, angeling angels? Where are the Christ who are Christing Christ to be Christ? A race eliminated no more. Will you be the resurrection experience now? Will you lay aside your flesh? Or will you come out of you? Will your spirit come out of you? So I don't understand everything. I don't have all the answers. I'm not your Messiah, but you are. But see, there's so much more to the story, and I'm always saying that there's so much more to the story. You can't encapsulate it in your book of the law. So something I can share with you that may have value to you, may even immediately, even though it's something I pondered for years off and on. You see, I'm sharing with you. This is school, the school of I am. I am in school. My name is Theodore Cottingham. What's yours? Will you write me and tell me you're in school? You're in this school? School of the Spirit, school of the Christ, school of the Christ. To be Christ, to become Christ. To conceive Christ in your memory, not your neurons flashing impulses of electrochemical responses going all across the synaptic gap, finding its way through axon hillocks, electromechanical, electromagnetic impulses. There's just more to the story, friend. Let not your heart be troubled, because God is birthing in the earth a new race. God that was our source before time began, before we ever became incarcerated in flesh and tore our wings off of each other, debase each other. We are angelizing now. We are beginning to let the angels be angels again, who all around us are. They just look like people, common people, angels. See, really, underneath your flesh, a garment, an outer garment, is more than just a bunch of internal organs. We're not fearfully and wonderfully made. We're cobbled together for a mess, a flesh race, serving its maker. You see, God from God needs to be not nuanced, but not torn apart, but understood. You see, the knowledge, the wisdom of revelation is to experience the resurrection, where you come out and are no longer limited to your flesh life. You're no longer desperate for a few more dollars to pay the light bill or have enough food to feed your children. You're no longer under the slavery of a man or a God. You're no longer looking for a deity to give you favor, to do a little better. You're bringing forth not religion anymore, but the resurrection. The woman Christ creates the Creator. So that you, my friend, my lover, begin to love love. Where you begin to love yourself, you begin to love you. In flesh, the real you. Not limited to your appearance. And you begin to see your worthiness, your power, your ability, your capacity to no longer be a servant, but a leader. And lead you where? Into your promised land. Where is your promised land, O lover, inside of you? In your spirit? It's certainly not among your neurons. Or will your neurons no more complete you, correct you, classify you, condemn you? Will you no longer live with the accuser of the brethren, biblical term, resident in you? Will the beast in Revelation you no longer allow in you to control your presence, your power, your life, your ability to resurrect? Will you create new life? New life, pardon me. Create a new life. Enter the consciousness, not of the God of religion that says you must do this and that you must worship. I defeat worship. Worship is not the way to God. Worship is subservience, prostrating yourself before what you call a living God to ask for favor, spending our life wondering why there's not more power. Where's God? Where's the Messiah? Who's going to be it? Where's Jesus? Why do these people run around in their robes and collars and rings and want people to bow down, ask for their blessing, pronounce forgiveness of their sin? Some guy in a robe? Come now. Grow up. Let us see the resurrection and feel it in our bones, in the marrow of our spirit, in our consciousness, where it's not where we try to conjure up faith to please something that we think exists, God somewhere. So a few moments ago, I was pondering, sharing with you a story. I don't know if I've ever told this on YouTube before. So I'm telling you the story for the power of the story, for you to engage your own consciousness with the consciousness of your spirit that's not limited to the molecular. You see, if you grow the Christ in you, to create the Christ, the woman Christ, you wrestle with the angel. You engage, you ponder. After the angel came to Mary and said, you're going to conceive, and she said, how can this be? I know not a man. So the story goes, how can this be? Mary pondered these things. She didn't refute them. She didn't rebuke them. She didn't say this is nonsense. So when I say unto you, there's a resurrection for you to come out of your flesh and be not limited to it, and yet still be able to operate in it at times, so that you do the things Jesus did miraculously, naturally. And the supernatural becomes you, and you're no longer afraid of it. You burst something. You begin to create you as the creator. You see, you're creating you a new consciousness where you control it not. You begin to not fear your power. You begin to become knowledgeable of who you are with the identity of no limits. I'm going to share communion with you in a few minutes. I'm going to lead you in it for you to lead you in it and lead others in it, so that it's not reproduced just by people in a robe or a collar or somebody that says, oh, they're ordained or they're in a fivefold ministry. I'm asking you to come out of that nonsense and all the rigmarole that has ensconced us for eons. There's a resurrection to be had. There's a resurrection to experience. But you create you as the creator first. And you have a baby. Oh my gosh, you become pregnant, not with an alien. You become pregnant with the living word. This living word, the word that you let live in you to create the consciousness, not of a feeling, but of the experiential me. Not me in flesh, but me, the I am. Where you begin to see I am as you, and you're no longer separate from the Creator. So what happens to this body? You give it up. You don't die. You resurrect from it. You resurrect while living. See, this is what communion about. This is what communion is about. The sacrament? The sacrament of Holy Communion is not limited to the few. It's for everyone who will to begin to see. You are not limited to you. But if you want to become unlimited, if you want to resurrect into not the things of God, but the things of the real you, the spiritual you, the intangible you, the infinite you, the you that you were before flesh ever experienced time, gravity, waves, little squiggly things, quanta, packets of energy. There's more to the story, my love. My love, will you be my love? My love in flesh? No, don't hold on to me in flesh. Don't hold on to yours either. And no one else either. Are you ready to give your flesh up? I didn't say, are you willing to die? I didn't say go crawl in a casket like religion says, that it's inevitable to point at you wants to die. No, I refute that. The resurrection is yours, my friend, if you will love, beginning with you first. Are you willing to lay aside the concepts, the precepts that have enchained you and literally robbed your power from you? You see, religion doesn't put you in control. Religion empowers religion to keep you in their power, under their control. They say they have the way, that Jesus was the truth, the way, the life, the bread and wine. I suggest to you that when Jesus, if the story has any accuracy, validity at all, that Jesus, when those guys were around him, the Last Supper, bread and wine, these are symbols of what? You are my body. This is just a symbol. But you, my friend, you disciples, they didn't call them apostles, disciple, learners, students, you these guys that have followed me all around, you are my body. You are my body. You are my blood. Be the intangible me. Bring me forth. Me, the Word. The Word? Well, they didn't have the word consciousness back then, did they? Energy? So I'll share a little bit about communion, I think, before we end this lesson. But I'll go ahead and tell you this little story, I think, that I haven't told. I was married for 33 years. A wonderful person, but so we divorced in 2010. And she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer in 2014. And we both still lived in the same city. We lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, USA. And she was pretty well known, music teacher. So a lot of friends rallied around her, encouraged her. A lot of wonderful church people helped, brought food, whatever. But then she needed to go to the doctor more and more, the hospital more and more tests, more this, more that. And it wasn't long before she couldn't drive. So I helped. So we were still, conversant, amiable. It became pretty evident that her health was giving out. And of course, like so many people that have been through tough times, hard times, difficult things, there are a lot of details. But this I'm sharing with you is not really about the details, except to get to one point. So it wasn't long before she couldn't live by herself, and she lived with my sister, and my sister did a tremendous amount. I will always applaud and be grateful for my sister and my daughter. So the three of us, we did a lot. And her name was Barbara. known by all our friends as Barbie. And Barbie became less and less mobile. But here, I'm going to get to the point. One night at 3 a.m., now I'm telling you, before I tell the rest of this story, I don't have the answer. I engage with questions. I engage with fools not to answer me. I engage with the Spirit, the pondering of my own mind, my spirit, the unlimited spirit of me. I'm not limited by my flesh consciousness anymore. I've entered the consciousness of unconditional love, our original source. So one night at 3 a.m., and I am not exaggerating one iota, I heard Barbie's voice audibly, loudly, not screaming, but loudly. And I mean a not automatic response, but I instantaneously sat up in that bed like I don't even have the energy to do normally. I heard her voice and she said, "Theodore!" And I sat up in the bed and it's dark and I'm just looking like this. She said 4 things. I've left my body. I'm okay. I love you, and I'll see you later. And as soon as I gathered my wherewithal, I got up and wrote those four things down. She did not die until 5 days later, what we call die. So you can imagine what may have gone on in my mind that day when I went over, and there she is, apparently alive, living. Pardon me. It's not easy to see someone so close to death that's been so vibrant, such a part of your life, your love. But anyway, 5 days. This is the point. The point is there's more to the story. Why am I sharing this? There's more to the story than religion has ever let us recover, believe, tell us. Release. You see, there's this release within inside of you. I no longer beg. Years ago, when I used to make recordings, there were many times I said, I beg you. You find hundreds of videos where I kneel on one knee. I kneel down in front of you, speaking to you, whoever listens, asking, encouraging, exhorting, begging, because I didn't mind beg. But instructions came to me. Life came through me in the words that I speak because I surrender to speak them. This is the operation of the new and living covenant. The living word that brings forth life anew, new growth. in a new garden. The Garden of Eden, the Garden of Promise, the Promised Land, the consciousness that creates the Creator. So we engage rather than just writing things off that sound so ludicrous, like I fly. Well, how ludicrous is that? And yet, I shared with you, I think yesterday, day before. So on thewomanchrist.com, the school website, you can find the New Covenant and search it. You can type in, click on the New Covenant, insert the word fly. .413 references. Non-trivial. Significant. But religion doesn't want you to know this. Religion tells you God doesn't speak like this anymore. I call them liars. I call them ignorant. But what motive is at play here? See, what's the motive of the people that tell you God is alive, God will heal, God will do this, that, or the other? They want to tell you what God thinks and how God operates. But they don't even know the difference between God and God, God and the Lord God, God of heaven and earth, or that you are angels, or that whatever created the concept of hell was hell itself. See, if your God requires you to meet the requirements that he sets, and if you don't meet the standard, you fail, you're excommunicated, you're shunned, you're put in hell for eternity. Not my God, not the God I serve. So there's all of this discernment that I suggest you must learn. You must learn to mature, to discern. And the way you learn is to surrender, to be the real you, and learn from the living word that you give breath to. Write that down. You surrender to what? You begin to surrender to a source for your knowledge that is outside of your mind, but not separate. Or is it inside your mind? Or is your mind expanding your consciousness too of what you are, who you can be? Five days. How fascinating to me. You see, things legal don't control us in the spirit. A legal marriage, a legal divorce, illegal this, illegal that. Those things have no power in the spirit world. None whatsoever. We're not limited to the apparent vibrations of sound or the effects of what we call energy, protons, neutrons, electrons, neurons. There's more to the story. You are a creator. And you have the privilege to create your birth again before you die. It's not inevitable that you should die and be judged. No, my friend, you are the judge of you right now. And you are judging you in your mirror every day with every word I speak, with every word you speak, with everything you encounter. You judge, judge, judge. Well, even Jesus said judge. John 7:24, I think it is. Judge righteously, judge with wisdom. Where does your wisdom come from? The pages in a book? You see, it's valuable to draw from sometimes multiple sources. I've learned a lot from movies. I began channeling. Channeling? New Age term. I began writing. I used to call it, I was taught it, stay away from all the New Age stuff. So I wanted to know God, and I talked about that many times, and I began to write the first person words of God. Almost every day. I would have instructions to me. Pick up your pen, write me. Let me write. Let me write more often. I will come to you even more than once a day. And I began to experience a learning system that you can begin to experience. And that's why this school exists. Not for you to learn everything I know, but to go beyond me. Don't be limited by me. I will not limit you. You can become equal with me. And not suppress me. And go in to the outer limits. The Twilight Zone. You can exit the matrix. Neo, do you hear me? Are you willing to fly? Are you willing to see another story? That you have the ability to hear God, be taught directly by God. Directly by God. Don't you understand? If you study the New Covenant in the Bible, you'll begin to see the desire of God is to teach you directly. Or I should say the desire of unconditional love is to teach you directly and have no intermediary of some preacher, prophet, ordained or not. You have the ability to recreate you, O woman Christ. And if you're a man, I'm speaking to you also, because I understand the womb. The womb! And I have a womb. And it's not in my belly. But in my consciousness, my spirit. Is my spirit my consciousness? Is yours. There's a conscious. Is your spirit conscious? Or are you just subject to all the words that you've studied all your life and the words that have pounded you with the influence of their authority? Or are you learning to come into your own authority? Communion, you have a cookie, a wafer, a piece of bread. Whether you sliced it, whether you've torn it apart. Maybe it's not bread at all. Maybe it's cheese. That's all I had today. Over and over, several times this morning, it began to come to me to share this today. So I cut off a piece of cheese and I have a cup of coffee. Many times I've had, celebrated this act of communion where I just had what I had. Coffee and a Dr. Pepper and a chocolate chip cookie. Where I took a few moments during the day like a child. This is a symbol of my body broken for you, and I'd break the cookie. And I'd eat. The cheese is not my body. It's not the flesh of my body. It's a symbol. A symbol of what? The words I'm speaking. So I'm doing something tangibly. I'm speaking. I'm acting. I'm creating every time I do that. Every time I surrender to the word of creation that I'm a creator, I'm creating me. And you're creating you when you do so too. You engage with the words. The symbols are not the thing to be worshiped. I'm not worshiping the bread, the wine, the cheese, the coffee. I see the symbol, how all of this applies to you. All of this applies to you. All of the Jesus story applies to you. Women, men. The new birth. New birth, there's no birth without the feminine womb. The Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit. So Christ is coming forth in the earth now, not a man, but a woman, women. And women will no longer be suppressed by men. So the misogynistic world of patriarchy is falling apart, crumbling. And you will see it in your mind, or will you feel it in your spirit, or will you create the real you to no longer be separate from your creation? Are you willing to resurrect? And not be afraid of your power? Resurrect. Will you come out the grave, or whether will you resurrect before you ever go to the grave? Are you willing to resurrect now in the normal course of life, of the reproduction of the Spirit, of joy, life, and peace? Being the life of you, no longer separate. The blood, not drinking any blood. I'm drinking coffee. But in these moments of honoring, not an exception, but surrender to becoming the Creator, creating me. You can take communion anytime you want to. I authorize you. And who am I? I'm an old man in Eureka Springs. Not ordained, don't want to be. Not controlled by any religion. I'm a loose cannon knot. But I'm asking you, no longer be controlled by the canon of your tongues. The canon, canonized Bible. You see, Jesus learned what scriptures applied to him. Oh, I had this funny thought. Let's see. How am I going to do this? Ah, yeah, there it is. Now you can see. It's Jesus the Pattern is the name of the book I wrote. I don't know why I never thought of this before. You see my little phone when I have it on record mode like this. It's in mirror mode, so words appear backward. So every time I've shown this so many times and it appears backward. It's okay to laugh. It's okay not to know. It's okay to ponder. You are authorized to enter your holy land, your promised land, Israel. But Israel is not in the Mideast. Israel is not molecular. Israel is simply a name that was used in the past. True Israel is in the skies as part of the unlimited infinite where you're from originally. So there's more to the story. So much more to the story. And I beg you not, but I invite you. To increasingly, intentionally, no longer forfeit your power, but intentionally generate the creation of you to be the creator of you, creating you again, the woman Christ with a womb, where you begin to understand the seed. Remember the parable? The seed is the word, the living word that you begin to let come through you like this. And you begin making videos too, where you share the living Christ story, how Christ is every one of us. If we take our clothes off, not, but our flesh. What if we don't have flesh anymore to live in? Or will you give up your flesh? Your body broken for you? You give up your flesh? My body broken for me? I break my body. I don't want to live in my body anymore, limited to it. Do you? I don't want to groan in the flesh. I don't want to have to pay my light bill. If I am the light, I don't want to pay the grocery bill that escalates and advances and increases every time I go to the grocery store. If I have the ability to feed 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Do you? Are you willing to feed those in famine? Are you willing to walk through the mud, the floods? Are you willing to see your power? Are you willing to conceive the Christ, conceive the new you? This is about the new you. It's not about being reliant on some historical figure. No matter how many times you have prayed to Jesus or felt like you experienced his presence or a God of love, because all of those emotions are dependent upon you. I know what praise and worship is. I've been in hundreds, thousands of services. And many times felt what I used to call what I thought was the glory of God, the presence of God, the anointing of the Holy Spirit. Many times laid flat down, even in church, flat on my face. What are you willing to do? Or is it not about doing? Are you willing? Are you willing to begin to surrender to be who you really are underneath that flesh, no longer dependent upon the flesh? Are you willing to heal the sick, raise the dead? Are you willing to connect with the Creator who calls you, the Creator, to be equal with the Creator in your body so that you are the living Christ here on earth in the here and now? Your body and blood. You break it so it's no longer limited by you. You're no longer limited by your free will to choose to be separate. Are you willing? Are you willing to see your power and no longer be afraid of the lion's den? The story of Daniel and the lion's den? It's about you. It's about us. It's about all who will. See that we're not powerless any longer. There's more to the story. Will you no longer truncate it? Will you no longer be about your Father's business? Will you begin to enter the consciousness of the Father, the God of gods, the original source, unconditional love, to teach you directly? Where you begin to make notes. You keep a pen and paper by your bedside, in the car, everywhere. You begin to make notes, and you begin to write, and you begin to ask questions. You begin to look up in the new covenant that I've written, if you will, to facilitate the acceleration of you learning to release you from the hold that religion has had on you and the artifacts of religion that sinks its cleats deep down in your being to control you and keep you here till you die, until you're used up as an energy source. There's more to the story of the cosmic consciousness of Christ. Not limited to this world, I am. Coming into the creation of I am. You, creators are, who will create you as the creator of you, to bring forth the new covenant, the new and living word, experientially as a system of education, to no longer be systemically limited by your neurons. Okay, I love you all. TheWomanChrist.com. I am Theodore Cottingham. You can write me. Snail mail. Box 34. Eureka Springs, Arkansas, USA. Don't take no for an answer. When you want to live love and you're ready to become love, I offer you one of the most powerful prayers that I've ever prayed, that I've said many times. Here I am. Here I am. I'm not somewhere else trying to do things for you. I'm not trying to be somebody else or fulfill their expectations. But it's no longer, here I am, O Lord. It's here I am in my mirror. Here I am. Not in my soul that separates me, but here I am. And who I am to be what I am. To be me, no longer limited to the flesh. So I'm creating the Creator every time I do this, every time I create a video, every time I teach like this. And on this channel, on YouTube, now some 2,600 videos. I speak, I live, I love. And I learn through what I'm speaking. And sometimes I engage with these words multiple times, multiple ways. You see, all of the years that the new covenant that I wrote, that came through me, the first 2,400 lessons that this school is founded on. After I would record, I would transcribe them. And after I transcribed them, I would print them out. And then I would reread them. I would underline them. I would color code them. I would connect the dots. I would connect the words and the phrases. I would see things that were emphasized and stated multiple times, multiple ways, and begin to connect. And those words connected me with website, books, movies, for a learning system like no other. This is what I invite you to experience. To be the living word. No longer limited to your flesh. The word made flesh. The word no longer limited to it. Be Christ in the now. I love you all. Theodore Cottingham, TheWomanChrist.com. Ideas? Write me. Questions? Write me. Complete a school? Create the school. Create the Creator School in you, the new covenant. The Creator School that's you, that's within your purview, your power. To no longer let anyone manipulate it out of you. So you're no longer under a patriarchal power. Be the original you, my friend, my love, and love each other. Love your children. Love them tangibly. Love them inexplicably, for no reason at all. Love them because you're becoming love in your shoes in a new way. With wisdom, peace and prosperity, wisdom, miracles, wisdom. First, love. Love is the foundation. Forgiveness is the foundation. Generosity, patience, loving kindness, tenderness, the nurture of a woman, the feminine you, to bring forth your child. And everybody you see, wisdom, do you know her children? Wisdom, will you afflict the wisdom of others no more? Will you help each other grow your wings now? And no longer be the povertied race of mankind. In the cosmos, in the love of one. I love you all. Some of you care. And care deeply. And some of you are trying, working. You're diligently listening, interacting. Let not your heart be troubled for all the world situation and all the trials and temptations that want to garner your attention. Protect your life, protect your love. Protect your love by giving it away. Foolishly not, but letting your power go throughout the waves of the atmosphere, knowing no one can stop the power of your love. Become the creator. I love you. Theodore Cottingham, box 34. Write me. Send me a cookie. Oh, gosh. Laugh a little. Laugh more. And enjoy the humor of Christ. Look in the New Covenant. Look up laughter. Oh, I think I'll do that before I say bye. Laugh. How many times? 54 times. 54 references to laughter. So see, when you come into the New Covenant online that I've written, look up laugh, look up fly, look up these terms. And you'll find something radical. You create me with every thought of me. You create me with every thought of me because you're the creator. Now complete the creation of you as the creator in creating you again and live the life of joy, resurrecting, defeating death, defeating sin, hell, and the grave, abolishing religion, destroying famine, disease, and brutality. Become one with pure love. Theodore Cottingham. I love you. Good day. Thank you for sharing this time. Lots of love. Hugs. Cheese and coffee. Crackers. Live and laugh. And let your love go everywhere. Because you are powerful and lovely. And I love you.